This is the Main Street Preps High School Football Wrap-Up Show, brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office. Fans, don't let fans drive drunk.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. Happy Thanksgiving week to you from all of us at the Main Street Media family. It is, of course, time for the Main Street Preps High School Football Recap Show. We'll also be bringing you previews for this Friday night's semifinal matchups in Division I. Looking forward to talking about all of the teams that took the field on last Friday night and the ones who advanced to the semifinals this upcoming Friday. It is going to be an exciting show. Make sure to stick around to find out what happened on Friday, how those games came to those conclusions, and of course, how each of those teams look to prepare for Friday night for a chance at a state championship. We'll start, though, with one team who has already punched its ticket to the state championship in Division II. We go to Murray County with Maurice Patton.
Hey, I'm Maurice Patton, sports editor at Main Street Murray. We only had one team in the playoffs this past weekend, but they're still going after this weekend. Columbia Academy trailed by one score a couple of times early, but rallied for a 47-13 win over Donaldson Christian in the Division 2A state semifinals. You know, Division 2A is a week ahead of Division 1, so yeah, Columbia Academy still rolling into Chattanooga with that victory, actually. Big night from junior defensive back Jackson Usherwood in that ball game. 3 interceptions, 2 of which went for touchdowns, as he returned 1 for 32 yards and lateraled 1 to Harrison Brownlee for 38 yards and a score as well. Again, three interceptions for Jackson Usherwood, kind of leading a defense that allowed just 240 yards on the night against DCA and came up with 5 picks on the night. So a big night for the Columbia Academy defense. Meanwhile, Monte Baldwin, 26 carries, 209 yards, 3 touchdowns, including an 81-yarder on his final carry of the night. So Bulldogs continuing to get it done on both sides of the ball. Their third straight mercy rule victory in postseason play. And again, that sends them into the state finals on Thursday, December 5th down at Chattanooga. We'll talk more about that later. But again, Columbia Academy 47, Donaldson Christian 13, their second win over the Wildcats of the season following a 28-7 victory back in week 5 of the regular season. Columbia Academy set to make their first ever state championship appearance. So again, we'll be talking more about that as we go along. But I'm Maurice Patton, sports editor at Main Street Murray. We'll see y'all later.
Thanks, Maurice. Let's go now to Wade Neely, who was in McKenzie for Richland's big matchup in the quarterfinals.
What's up, folks? Wade Neely here, sports editor at the Pulaski Citizen. Time for a recap of the third round of the TSSAA state playoffs for our teams in Giles County. We were down to the Richland Raiders, and unfortunately, we are now out of teams as Richland falls on the road in a battle of region champs, 55-7 versus the high-powered McKenzie Rebels. Yours truly and Mark Mize, we broadcast that game on Pulaski Citizen Live, and if you can download the Mixler app, you can go back and listen to our broadcast, not just Friday night, but all season long. Every Raider broadcast from this great season is uploaded on our PCL Richland channel. But as far as Friday night's game goes, nothing went right for Richland. They fell behind 21-0. A couple of nice touchdowns for Tate Serber, likely to be your Class A Mr. Football winner this year. He got things going for the offense through the air. Richland turned it over on a pick 6. Blaine Woodard intercepted. And again, it's 21-0 halfway through the first quarter. Richland still fights, though. Getting back in the game, Nash Petty had a great game on the ground, running at times for Richland. Had a huge run that almost went for a touchdown. It was called back, but Richland didn't throw in the towel. They marched right back down the field, using Woodard, using Sands in and out of the passing game. Jake Sands on a 39-yard strike on third down for the touchdown, ultimately proving to be the only points of the night for Richland in that contest. All that being said, it's 42-7 at halftime. Richland easily could have thrown in the towel. And in the second half, with a running clock, they go and uncork a deep ball right down the middle of the field. Sands nearly hauled it in for close to a 70-yard touchdown. But as momentum carries him to the ground, he falls shy. Richland has 4 cracks at it in the red zone. Unfortunately, comes up empty. So that was the only 7 that they got all night. Serber was phenomenal. Again, he's going to get my vote for Mr. Football at the 1A ranks. But a special tip of the cap to the Richland Raiders. Head coach Nick Patterson has taken this team to previously unseen heights. Well, heights that hadn't been seen since the 80s at least. And I know it stings for Richland fans, but you got a lot to be proud of for your squad in Linville as those boys battled all season long and fell to a really good team. McKenzie, 3 straight state championship game appearances. Probably a favorite, some would say, to maybe win it all again over in Chattanooga in December. So tough break for Richland. Special shout out to Blaine Woodard, the quarterback for the Raiders. Did the best he could. I had him 8 of 18 passing, roughly 160 yards and the touchdown. Threw a couple picks, but battled through it all night long. Nash Petty with a good game on the ground for Richland. And then Sands was the aerial threat that Richland had as he goes over 125 yards receiving and the touchdown in the defeat. It was a great ride for the Richland Raiders, but for now we say so long as RHS falls in the quarterfinals 55-7 over at McKenzie. Wade Neely saying so long, and we'll see you next time.
Wade, thanks very much. Looking forward to hearing more about those games. But, of course, we are going to take a break. We've got more coming up right after this on the Main Street Preps High School Football Recap and Preview Show, Thanksgiving edition. Stick around.
He shoots, and he scores!
At Delta Dental of Tennessee, we know our success begins and ends with providing superior quality service, and that includes serving those who need it most. This year, we're celebrating 25 years of giving back to the community we call home. Delta Dental, along with our Smile 180 Foundation, supports Tennessee's dental colleges and oral health education, children's hospitals, free and reduced cost dental clinics, and other like-minded charities. Here's to the next 25 plus years of ensuring healthy smiles.
Well, we went all out for you this year, didn't we, little girl? Yep, we got you what you wanted with all the bells and whistles.
A brand new car?
Let's go check it out. Come on. We're here.
Oh my gosh, we're going to the garage. I got a car.
Yep, let's get in here. Let me show you what's going on.
Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Duggar, got your 18 SEER heat pump with your ultraviolet home treatment system.
I cannot believe it. Thank you.
Yes! Give the gift of clean air this year. Merry Christmas from the Busy Bee family.
Welcome back into the Main Street Preps High School Football Recap and Preview Show. We are, of course, presented each week by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office. Remember, fans don't let fans drive drunk. We're going to go now to Sumner County and Robertson County as Springfield and Beach played in the quarterfinals. Big game there. We've got David Wilson to tell us about it.
Hey everybody, this is David Wilson, sports reporter for the Robertson County Connection. Here to give you a quick recap of all the playoff action across the Robertson County area this week. We entered the quarterfinal round of the TWSLA playoffs for their 6 non-private schools, with 2 Robertson County teams still on the hunt for a gold ball, and we'll head into the semifinals next week with 1 Robertson County team moving on. That is the Springfield Yellow Jackets, as they go on the road to Beach on Shackle Island and continue their magical run through the Class 5A playoffs. It's the Yellow Jackets picking up a convincing 47-14 win over the Region 7-5A champion Beach Bucks and shatter their hopes of going to Chattanooga and competing for a gold ball. Springfield absolutely dominated this matchup, particularly on the line of scrimmage, where the Yellow Jackets rushed for 400 rushing yards on Friday night in the cold conditions. Jaden Hurst led the way for the Springfield backfield with 17 carries for 215 yards and 2 touchdowns. He was paired with senior running back Keenan Chapman Jr., who had 3 rushing touchdowns alone in the first half and had 93 yards overall running the football. Chapman also had a day on defense, 13 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, and 2 forced fumbles in this matchup. Lamorius Dallin had a fumble return for a touchdown. Demarion Smith also had a fumble recovery and forced fumble in this one as well. Springfield headed back to the semifinals for the first time since 2019, where of course they went on to win their semifinal matchup and compete for the Class 4A state championship back then under head coach Dustin Wilson. The second matchup this week was a really highly touted matchup going into the week, as East Nashville, who has finished runner-up in Class 3A for 3 consecutive years, went on the road to face Cinderella Story White House Heritage, competing in their first quarterfinal since 2015. And it was the Eagles of East Nashville who pulled out a convincing 42-7 victory over White House Heritage. White House Heritage quarterback Xavier Murray suffered a knee injury prior to the contest and was wearing a knee brace on Friday night. It was very severely hampered in this one. East Nashville jumped out to a 42-0 lead, and White House Heritage's lone touchdown came in a running clock scenario late in the fourth quarter with Logan McCarter getting into the end zone for the Patriots. But it was all East Nashville as they're headed back to the semifinals yet again, as they're on their quest to get to their 4th consecutive Blue Cross Bowl and potentially face Alcoa once again. Eagles quarterback Dallas Covington completed 8 of 10 passes for 233 yards and a touchdown. He also ran for a score. And running backs Kenny Fuller Jr. and Jordan Van Leer both had 2 rushing touchdowns on the ground and combined for 124 yards rushing for East Nashville. So that'll do it on this edition of the wrap-up show. Looking forward to talking to you guys next week as we break down some semifinal football between Page and Springfield.
Now we're going to go to Blaine Kellar, who will talk a little bit more about that Springfield Beach game that ended Beach's season.
Sports editor Blaine Kellar with a season-ending update from Sumner County. Both of the area's quarterfinal teams are done after a little bit of some surprising losses on Friday. Westmoreland falling once again at Marion County, this time in the Class 2A quarterfinals, and Beach being stunned at home in the Class 5A third round game against region foe Springfield. That first game, which I went to, Marion County won 14-7, was the 7th time in a row that the Warriors have eliminated Westmoreland from the playoffs, though this was the closest one to date. The Warriors benefited from 2 long touchdowns. They had a 39-yard screen pass, and a 73-yard run right before halftime, taking a 14-0 lead. Westmoreland responded. Its only score coming with Cade Perry and Cooper White connecting on a pass, that being for 37 yards. A little dump and go cut the deficit in half, but really just some bad luck for Westmoreland. Ended one of its best ever seasons. The Eagles got into Marion County territory 6 times on Friday night in the quarterfinals, but could only cash in once. 4th down conversion failed them at one point. They had some errant snaps and some penalties hurt them as well, though it's important to remember the historical season that this team had. 10-3, region champions and quarterfinalists for the first time since 2006. Lots of success for Chad Perry, for Cooper White, who ended his senior season with 27 touchdowns, and for the Eagles' large, I believe 14-man senior class that really made waves in Class 2A this season. Now on to the other game in Sumner County. Beach falling 47-14 to Springfield, ending the Buccaneers season at 11-2. A lengthy winning streak that included a 21-16 win over Springfield in the regular season. Really just a shocking performance from this Yellow Jacket team. You got to tip their cap to what they've been able to do this postseason. They rushed for 379 yards against a Beach defense that has been hard for anyone to score on all season. Jaden Hurst ran for 215 yards and 2 touchdowns. His tailback tandem mate, KJ Chapman, had 93 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns. Beach's defense lost a few pieces, namely in power forward prospect Kawan Harris, who did not play, and linebacker and leading tackle Gunnar Clary, Southeast Missouri State commitment, who was hurt in the goings of the game, but Springfield just couldn't be stopped. Its offense helped it pick up a 3rd straight postseason upset. They were only in thanks to a Hendersonville loss and a Henry County win in the last game of the regular season. Springfield went on the road to upset Munford, went on the road to upset Henry County, and now went on the road to upset Beach. Both of the Buccaneers' touchdowns came on the ground from Caden Powell, the Kentucky baseball commitment and quarterback, and running back D.K. Williams, though their offense uncharacteristically struggled with fumbles in this game. Just a really off-putting performance, like I said, a surprising one that ends Beach season at 11-2, 1 game short of that semifinal that they were hoping for against 3-time state runner-up Page. Springfield gets that date on Friday. So like I said, end of the Sumner County football season, though stay tuned for our continued coverage of all things happening in the offseason, any coaching changes, and our all-county football team, which will come in the coming weeks. You can catch both of those recaps also on MainStreetPreps.com. Thanks for tuning in to Sumner County football this season. Blaine Kellar signing off.
Thanks, Blaine. Greatly appreciate it. We'll take another break. When we come back, we've got Rutherford County. Stick around on the Main Street Preps High School Football Recap and Preview Show.
At Delta Dental of Tennessee, we know our success begins and ends with providing superior quality service, and that includes serving those who need it most. This year, we're celebrating 25 years of giving back to the community we call home. Delta Dental, along with our Smile 180 Foundation, supports Tennessee's dental colleges and oral health education, children's hospitals, free and reduced cost dental clinics, and other like-minded charities. Here's to the next 25 plus years of ensuring healthy smiles.
Well, we went all out for you this year, didn't we, little girl? Yep, we got you what you wanted with all the bells and whistles.
A brand new car?
Let's go check it out. Come on. We're here.
Oh my gosh, we're going to the garage. I got a car.
Yep, let's get in here. Let me show you what's going on.
Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Duggar, got your 18-SEER heat pump with your ultraviolet home treatment system.
I cannot believe it. Thank you.
Yes! Give the gift of clean air this year. Merry Christmas from the Busy Bee family.
He shoots, and he scores!
Welcome back into the High School Foot Recap Preview Show from Main Street Preps, presented by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office. Remember, folks, fans, don't let fans drive drunk. It is Thanksgiving week, and if you are playing this week, congratulations. Some of the teams that are playing are from Rutherford County. We've got Monte Hale to tell us about them.
Hello, I'm Monte Hale, sports editor of the Murfreesboro Post. And then there was one team left in the playoffs. That would be Oakland High School. We'll get into their game in a minute, but first, Stewart's Creek wrapped up its season last Friday night, a 38-14 loss to Ravenwood on the road, got behind early, had some turnover issues, and things just kind of snowballed from there, but really does not take away from the outstanding season they had. They will finish the season 11-2. Won their first ever region championship, their first ever 10-plus win season, and really a good senior class that had good leaders. They have good players, but you got to have good leaders too, and certainly Stewart's Creek had that. So again, congratulations to Coach Ben Caudill and his staff and those players. Okay, the Battle of the Borough. Some are talking maybe the best ever. Oakland 49, Riverdale 46. What else can you say? The two teams combined for 934 yards. The bulk of Riverdale's passing, the major bulk of Oakland's rushing. DeJuan Morris, USC commitment, who visited Tennessee this past weekend, and they may get a flip there, as they say. 253 yards rushing and 4 touchdowns. Craig Tutt, 150 yards and 1 touchdown. The Patriots ran for 419 yards. Riverdale's Malachi Telling, outstanding game, senior quarterback, 19 of 31, 320 yards and 4 touchdowns. And future MTSU Blue Raider, DJ Taylor, 120 yards and a TD. So Riverdale wraps up a great season. That was one of those games, you hear people say this every now and then, but it really rang true. It was really hard to see either team lose that game. But Oakland, they've trailed 5 times in the second half this year and have come back and won each time. They trailed 21-7 at one point in this game, but stayed the course. And what can you say? Familiar opponent on Friday night in Maryville. Here against Maryville. It's Maryville's turn to travel here. The two did not play last year as Bradley Central defeated Maryville in the semifinals. So the semifinals are set. If you're practicing on Thanksgiving Day, you've had a great season. I'm Monte Hale, sports editor of the Murfreesboro Post.
Thanks, Monty. Always appreciate it. And that's going to do it for this week's show. We greatly appreciate you guys visiting with us, learning more about what happened on Friday night, and, of course, what's going to happen this Black Friday. Of course, make sure to be very safe as you travel all week long for Thanksgiving. If you are on the roads, please be safe. And remember, fans, don't let fans drive drunk. We'll see you next week here on the Main Street Preps High School Football Recap and Preview Show presented by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office.
This is the Main Street Preps High School Football Wrap-Up Show, brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office. Fans, don't let fans drive drunk.